it's a very, very interesting step, but I don't. It's not the final step, and I think that the Saudi thing is just still looming very, very large over this entire negotiation.
Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. We got myself, Danny Scoops, Frankie Borelli, our good friend Trent Ryan, as he talked about in the last show, is out sick. I think his whoop is still at 1%. So get well soon, Trent. Everybody's thinking about you. A lot of news in the golf world. Barstool Classic sold out. So big thanks to everybody who signed up 6 years running. You get nervous every time. I'll never forget the first year that we did the Barstool Classic. We put it on sale. We did pre-sale, which was exclusively for Barstool Gold members. And we had
Barstool Gold. That's a throwback.
A little subscription. You had to be subscription if you're new here. You had to be a subscriber to Barstool Gold, which was like our own Barstool's OnlyFans. Basically, it was like exclusive content. We had all kinds of stuff going on, and we did the first 24 hours was open just to Barstool Gold members. And I think 2 hours in, we had 9 people signed up for the Barstool Classic, and we were panicking. We were like, "Oh my god, I thought it was a good idea. It's not working. Holy shit!" Next day, it went on sale at whatever noon to the general population, and sold the entire thing through in 10 minutes or something. The fact that we're still doing that, even though we do 25 events around the country, I think 80% of the events or so sold out in 3 minutes. And then it took an hour or so for everybody, the second stop in Chicago, Atlanta, all that to sell out. But big thanks to everybody who signed up. Barstool Classic is going to be even more fun than ever this year. I think the championship, we're doing 2 more years at Greyhawk out here in Scottsdale. So fuck yeah, Barstool Classic sold out. Very nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing times. It's very, very fun to see all the people that are excited about getting in. We teased it a little bit on the last show, but like we're always adding, we're always improving. So for the people that did get in, it's a great event. It's been a great event for 5 years, and it's just going to continue to be a great event. So don't feel like you did it just to do it. This is going to be something that you're going to remember for a long time. Everyone that plays in it, mostly everyone that plays in it, says it's the most well-run event that they've played in. They feel like they're playing for something because they are. And I don't know if have you talked about a little bit that the prize pool has gotten bumped up? Have you talked about that at all?
I wanted to make sure it was official first, but I believe we have now doubled the prize for the first place.
Woo,
so it used to be 10 grand to first.
Doubled.
Now it's 20 grand. So you win first place. And we have good players, man. Like I think in the 5 years that we've done it, 4 of the teams have had both golfers be a 1 handicap or better. So people bitch about sandbagging every single event. When somebody posts 10 under or 12 under, everybody bitches. Sandbaggers, they're pretty much scratch golfers or better that win this thing. We had the 1 year with John and John, who were awesome. It was the COVID year 2020. I think they were like a 7 and 11 handicap, and they won that year. And they both said, yeah, we've been playing golf way, way, way more than we ever get to play golf because of COVID. They're like, we've been able to work from home, play golf, game got a little bit better, and they won in a playoff playing straight up on the cradle under the lights. It was amazing. But four out of the 5 teams pretty much scratch golfers or better. So you got to be able to play the fucking game. You got to be able to play it well under pressure. And now you're going to be able to play it for 20 grand for
That's
first
a
place
ton of
if you
money.
win this thing.
My dad and I are making our Barstool Classic debut May 9th. So that's a big one. MRAP is a grinder out there, so I'm excited to play with him. $20,000 is serious cash. You're talking about the quality of play. I'm thinking back to the shootout last year. It was like everyone had like 10 feet for birdie on the first hole. It's not a hit and giggle by any stretch of the imagination, especially not at the finale.
And for anyone that didn't get in, we do have other events sprinkled throughout the year that will pop up. So if you want that taste of a Barstool run golf event, there will be options. I know for one, we're not going to announce it fully yet, but there will be something around a big tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, maybe like on the property of where the golf tournament is in Jacksonville, Florida, maybe like 2 days before that tournament starts. So just keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one. It's going to be sort of like a shootout with like 2-man teams.
These are just ideas though.
These are just ideas, but
yeah,
these are things that we have in the works, and they will be
just doing a little live
popping up.
Here.
So yeah, very, very exciting. We are going to have more events. So if you missed out, just keep paying attention.
Yeah, keep those eyes peeled. You never know what's going to come across your desk. But yeah, you're right. And we've done outside of what could be that little game that you're talking about near that tournament that goes on that most people know and is pretty iconic. We often do little pop-up events too. I know at the PGA Championship, over the last couple of years, we've done a scramble. We've done a little Saguaro scramble out here where we're having one of the Barstool Classic stops. So I'm sure a few of those will pop up throughout the year. as well. And we're excited to get out there, like you said. You should not have to worry when you are buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. It is our favorite, fastest, best, easiest way to buy tickets for all kinds of sports, music, comedy, theater events near you. Going to events is just awesome. It's what life, it's what going to work is for. It's what dealing with all the ins and outs of day-to-day life, the stress, so you can go out to an event, enjoy it, feel alive, whether it's a sporting event, whatever it might be. And we use Game Time to do it. They're the best in the business.
Yeah, it makes you feel alive. Makes you feel alive. It's once you stop playing sports at a lower age or a lower level, all you have is this professional world of sports where you go, you get your jersey on, you get your logos on, you put your hat on, you take your kid, you take your friends, you go to these events, you get to watch your team play. They're playing for your city, they're playing for your town. They're wearing your colors that you bleed blue and orange. If you're an Islanders fan, you just go to these games. There's nothing better than it. And Game Time is the best place to get those tickets. They are demanding that you go there because they're telling you that it's the number one place to get tickets, the lowest price for last minute tickets. Why would you not go there? Download the app now.
I'm looking right now for the Phoenix Open next week. I mean, you can get a ticket for Monday's practice round for $11 on Game Time right now. I mean, that is just as good as it gets. You start getting into Wednesday, Thursday. They still got something for $30 on Wednesday. You can watch us hit shots. Thursday, 50. Starts to get up to still 83 or under $100. So Game Time is just, they're the best in the business. We love using Game Time. It's so easy. It's simple. You're going to have the best deal. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code FORE, that's FORE, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code FORE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Danny Scoops, we had you, on the show. You had a lot going on the other day. We were just getting into anybody who misses the show. I'm sure Trent Ryan will get dragged somehow on the show. When you miss the show, we kind of talk shit about you behind your back, even though it goes out to a lot of people. We started getting on the biggest scoop, which was Anthony Kim. You couldn't talk about Anthony Kim and not talk about the fact that Dylan DeChair came out there. Dylan DeChair is your Rappaport to Schefter. You guys are sort of going to be running parallel forever, I feel like, in this world. So then we couldn't not talk about the fact that, how come Dan Rappaport didn't get that one? And then we started talking about the next one. And then you, which I said on the show, I said, you're insanely coachable. You always respond so well when we go. You don't get bitter. You don't get mad. You sort of just say, okay, noted, assignments understood, and get after it. Now you've been reporting the fuck out of stuff for the last 2 days.
Yeah, you've ruined the trip with my in-laws, which is fine. I like reporting on golf way more. Yeah, you guys sent me for a major loop. I was very far from sobriety when I got that phone call. Minutes from takeoff, just about to pass out on a plane to come to this vacation. This vacation, which was canceled, by the way, in December when the good thing happened. So my in-laws are big fans of mine right now because I canceled that vacation, and now I'm sitting in the room while they are all at brunch, just reporting the crap out of everything. Look, you gave me an assignment. I understand it. There's no need to get better. There's no need to get mad. You just got to get better. And I kind of missed it. I gotta be honest. Kind of missed the scoop game. There's really just nothing like it. There's nothing like the rush of am I ready to go? Is this player going to get really mad at me? Have I run it by him more enough? How sure are we that this is happening? There is a whole calculus of the scoop game that just gets the gears going and gets the adrenaline flowing and increases my nicotine use by a lot. And I'm back. And yeah, it's a crazy time. I think this deal, I think the players are pretty happy right now, especially the top players, because they're going to get some money out of this. But I think until the Saudis are involved, which we can get into this, really might not be able to happen because of the government. I don't think that this isn't over, right? Liv is starting its season this week rather. John Rahm is there. There was no real mention of Liv Golf in the statement that's given out. This is not the merger that I think a lot of people were hoping for. This is not the kind of everyone's coming back together that I think some people hoped for.
This is the Strategic Sports Group, the latest announcement from the tour. Let's go through this thing because I've been seeing a lot of details come out. I know you put a good social video out. I want to hear kind of podcast, long form, the whole deal. What is this? What does it look like? Do we have any idea? Because it's X amount of cash. It's going to be divided between 180 or almost 200 players. But They're saying more will go to the top, but not specifically. What does this whole thing look like, Dan?
Well, the PGA Tour needed money. They just needed money to not even to as far as live goes, just to sustain what they're doing right now, right? Like these $20 million purses, all of these different prize funds. The guys are making way more money now than they used to make, and that was not sustainable. I think we saw that with, a good example is like the Wells Fargo tournament, at Quail Hollow. They bumped their purse up to 20 million. Wells Fargo said, we're out. Like it's just we're not paying $20 million for this. So I think the calculus just wasn't quite working out. Asking these sponsors to more than double their investment for a product that is missing Dustin Johnson and John Rahm and Brooks Koepka and all those guys just wasn't working anymore. So they found a group of American sports owners who are obviously extremely experienced and well-versed in the business of sports. This is what they do. Fenway Sports Group, who is kind of the leader of this strategic sports group, they own the Boston Red Sox, Liverpool, which is, one of the 4 biggest clubs in the English Premier League.
You'll never walk alone, baby.
You'll never walk alone. That's right. A rival of my dear Manchester United, so I don't like them. But they found
I'm a Liverpool
they are
fan now, by the way. I don't know if you know
you
that.
are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All my friends back home are huge Liverpool guys, and so starting when I was home for Thanksgiving, they recruited me, and I became a huge Liverpool guy. I bought a hoodie. They got a great logo, and their team is fucking sick. I don't think they've lost since I started rooting for these guys, so I'm now a Liverpool guy. So we're rivals in that too.
Yeah, they're in first place. They're having a really good season. So they found these guys to put in a bunch of money and basically create this new entity. The PGA Tour forever has been a nonprofit, a 501c6, which comes with a bunch of different rules and regulations as to what they can do and what they can't do. Now, PGA Tour Enterprises is not bound by that same charitable obligation. They can do basically whatever kind of they want commercially to try and grow the pot here. So basically, they get this money in and the reins come off. And Strategic Sports Group is going to, I think, have 4 seats on the board or something. And I think 25% ownership. But they are going to not be in charge, but have a big seat at the table when it comes to new initiatives, when it comes to how are we going to make this thing more money. So that's what this deal is. It's more money. It's for profit. It's no longer, kind of a mom and pop. Oh, the tournaments are all funded by corporate sponsors. Like there is cash on hand to fund these purses for the next 5 years. It is not a deal with the Saudis. And I think, again, until the Saudis are involved in this, I don't see this war of the tours ending. The tour is telling its players that this puts them in a better position to negotiate because they have money. They have a lot of money. They don't need, it's not a question of whether they're going to be able to fund this. So maybe the incentive for a guy like Victor Hovland or a guy like Wyndham Clark is less to go to live golf if they feel like they're going to be fairly compensated on the PGA Tour. So players are getting money and the tour is getting money, which kind of eases the pressure, but it's not a deal with the Saudis.
It's interesting because we spoke quite a bit, I think, on the last show about it. But if you simply can't match even the principle of just being able to offer someone money, which the tour doesn't and can't, it's just hard to compete. Even if that number is not as crazy as they have been, but they're outrageous. If guys like Tyrrell Hatton are just being offered $50 million or $60 million, and the tour can say, oh yeah, if you play better, now there's more money in the pool, but they can't offer them anything directly or straight up. How the fuck can you compete with that? And I know this sounds like it's at least a step towards or in that direction where they can at least kind of compete, because if they can't, guys are going to continue to go. Why the hell wouldn't you, to this point where now Rory's out there, which we're going to talk about his comments saying, people shouldn't be punished if they come back. I completely get it. Life's all about decisions. And now if you're one of these players that's on tour and it's just, they keep getting picked off and they're being guaranteed contracts like they're NFL fucking quarterbacks, and the tour's like, yeah, you just got to keep playing well. It's just eventually really hard to compete with that. You can't compete with that.
Yeah, you can't. It's guaranteed money. I mean, that's really the bottom line. Like you said, like it's, one is I have to go out there and shoot 467s in a row. Another one is sign on the dotted line and we'll transfer all this money to your bank account. It's not a fair fight. Apparently on the call, the strategic sports guys were saying this is like super historic and unprecedented, where players have actual equity ownership in the league. In all the other sports franchises, that's just the owners who have that. So it's a new thing. And I think it's $12 billion valuation is a crazy number. That's what they value the PGA Tour at. they had like $2 billion in assets, I think was the number that came out from when their books were kind of opened by the feds. So, either and we've talked about this a lot, Riggs. Don't underestimate the just like kind of the cool fantasy sports factor for these owners. They want to be involved.
Mhm.
Golf is like they want to play in the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. They want to be members of Augusta National. They are in now, but they're not doing this for charity. They definitely think that there are untapped avenues and ways that they can grow this pie. And I do think that they want the Saudis involved because it's just so much money. And these guys also have businesses outside of sports. They want to have a relationship with the biggest sovereign wealth fund in the world. It's just a question of whether the Department of Justice is going to let that happen.
Is there a pretty similar element to Formula One to that? Like, I feel like the F1.
I'm not sure.
I know it's huge. I know it's popular. But I feel like when I keep doing, like, those teams lose and burn through a ton of money. And I feel like a huge part of the reason that it works is because
that part for sure.
It's just cool. Like, the people that are backing it, the people that are sponsoring the teams, all that, they just want to be near it and involved in it because it's cool to do that. If you're a rich motherfucker, like, God, it's pretty much what Yasser's doing. He's host parties on his yacht for the last 3-5 years and has Dustin Johnson over, and he's a huge golfer. And now Yasser gets to play in the Pro-Am, and part of this deal was he wanted to be a member of Augusta National in order to get this deal done. Like, he's literally just like, I'm so rich and powerful. Yeah, we, the Saudis, they're sports washing and they're trying to get involved, but also at some level, you could kind of just boil it down to like, he wants to be involved in cool, rich people that do the thing that he likes to do, which is play golf.
Right. And rich people are still people at the end of the day. So like, yes, they have their investments in, accounting firms and, rolling up veterinary practices, which jack my fucking prices up. That's where they want to, those are profit investments. I think this is a profit investment, but I think it's also, there is that sort of ancillary benefit of just, this is sick. And John Henry can now call Rory McIlroy and Rory McIlroy will pick up the phone. It's a very, very interesting step, it's not the final step. And I think that the Saudi thing is just still looming very, very large over this entire negotiation.
You know how this investment group would have won over the people? And obviously this is a huge step to doing that, is if they would have taken $1 billion out of this $12 billion valuation and like given it to public golf somehow. Or like, because the PGA Tour in golf is the only sport where the fans want to play it more than they want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So like if an investment group comes into Formula One, you're not like, as a viewer, you're not like, well, like I want to go do that also. It's impossible. You're not getting in a fucking Formula One car. And for baseball, when like a team buys a new baseball team, that's the only time you get to watch really good guys play that sport at Yankee Stadium, new stadium. I'm going to go there. I'm going to watch this team. Like if you're a regular guy right now and you're watching all this money get thrown around the game of golf and you have to go, and I saw a lot of this backlash, and you see backlash like this across the board, but at some point, how are they not putting the money into like these golf courses that their fans are watching, whether it be like the USGA or like whoever could just make public golf more accessible for people and just better. You know what I'm saying? Like the sport that everyone actually loves to play. That would have been, if there was like an initiative to increase the level of play for the regular person while also giving $900 million to the best players in the world, whatever it's going to be, I think that would have been a really cool thing. It would have been like, yeah, fuck those like legitimate bad people that are on that other tour that don't give a fuck. They say they're growing the game, but they're not actually growing the game at all. There's all this growing the game stuff, right? And the negative thing I always see is like, how is any of this growing the game? Like these guys are just making billions and all. How is that growing my game at all? The game is everyone playing. That's what golf is. It's everyone. That's what the game is. When you grow hockey, it's like that's just growing the NHL. Like,
right.
Like growing the game is like me going to Eisenhower Park and like being able to go play with my buddies. That's what the game really is.
It's interesting because the hockey pair, like hockey in St. Louis now is, which is obviously where I'm from. Let's go Blues, 2019 Stanley Cup champs, is where when I was young and in my teens, when I was a mite hockey player, hockey in St. Louis just wasn't that big and it wasn't very good. Like our teams that would travel once we got to 12, 13 years old, we would get fucking dusted. We would, whoever the best team in St. Louis, we would make it to regionals, and then we would go to regionals and we would play against Phil Kessel's team in Madison, Wisconsin. They would beat us like 8-0. Like they would fucking kill us. Now, because a lot of the players, Al McInnes, Basil McRae, a lot of these guys that played for the St. Louis Blues in the 90s retired. They married into St. Louis, a girl, whatever it was. They stayed in St. Louis, and it changed the hockey culture landscape and pedigree in St. Louis over 10 or 15 years dramatically, to where over the last 10 or 15 years, there's been a bunch of first rounders that have come out of St. Louis. A lot of the teams in St. Louis are now insanely competitive on a national level. In hockey in St. Louis, youth hockey and the growth and the popularity of hockey in the St. Louis Blues is fucking enormous. And I think a lot about, like, if it weren't for, it took a mix of things. It took the Blues being good. Like, the St. Louis Blues simply had to be good in order to kind of capture a lot of that interest. And then you had to have really talented, well-known combination of everything type guys like those guys I mentioned to kind of run youth hockey, so that the developmental part of it got a lot better. And then all of a sudden hockey is, not only is it kind of cool and watch, but like people are getting their kids into it, right? Like the 30-year-old guy who now has a 5-year-old kid, he's incredibly inclined to put him on the ice, get him some skates, and try to see if he likes hockey, whereas that never was the case before. And I agree, like, Frankie, dude, imagine like Youth on Course, which we've raised a bunch of money for through TaylorMade and all those guys. Like, their whole initiative is $5 or less, and they get kids that can play golf for $5 or less around the country. Like, imagine if part of this deal where they're going to do $3 billion, if 150 million of that went to Youth on Course or a similar, initiative where, yes, you can make golf more accessible. Because here in Arizona, especially at this time, if you're not rich, you're either playing the shittiest golf course on the planet, or you simply have to have a ton of money to play golf out here this time of year. You just have to even go to like an average public course. It's $150 to play here. That's just not that accessible for people. But I think it takes a combination. I think you need golf to be cool at the highest level, which is what a lot of Rory's comments were about, where he literally just admitted, like, yes, if I win this week or I win in 2 weeks at the Genesis, is it cheapened by the fact that John Rahm and Dustin Johnson and Cam Smith are not there? And he's like, yes, it absolutely does. So I think you could grow the game a lot by just dumping money to the right people that have initiatives, ground floor, grassroots, of making golf more accessible. Because once you play it and you play it the right way, like I think we do, we're out there to have fun, you get a little bit better at it, people will get hooked. And I think golf makes life better. It makes like people better, all the integrity and the whole deal about it. But I also think you need it at the top level. You need like stars that make it cool. Otherwise, kids that are 5, 7, 10 years old are going to want to play football because they see Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce, like, and they're not going to be interested in golf unless, like, that was the Tiger Woods factor. That was the Phil Mickelson. That was Arnie. Like, those fucking guys made golf cool. And if you don't have that at the top level, it's hard to entice kids because they just want to fucking do what their idols are doing.
Yeah, they're still banking on golf unlocking something that it hasn't unlocked in the past. And I remain skeptical that it will happen. Like, assuming that let's say a deal does get done with the Saudis and, all the players are back under the same umbrella. Is that final product, okay? Like, imagine Rom and, DJ and Cam were playing this week, Pebble Beach. It's one of the 5 most iconic courses. Like, you couldn't pick a better place for all the. Is that going to dramatically increase interest and revenue to the standard that this is going to make money, and that these players, like, that their salaries, or not salaries, but their purses and their prize money is going to be justified? I don't know. It hasn't really happened in the past. I mean, Tiger raised purses for stuff, but now it's like you've had this very unnatural progression, I would call it, right? Like with Tiger, it was like sponsors wanted to get involved. Golf was getting more viewers. It was, you could clearly from a on a balance sheet, you could say, okay, there's more eyeballs. This is just, this group came in, this sovereign wealth fund came in with $1 gazillion. The PGA Tour scrambled and found people willing to pay, but it's an unnatural bumping up of just the money in the game. And in order to sort of close that gap, they're going to have to find more people. And that was what Colin Morikawa was saying. He's like, we have to make golf cooler. He's like, maybe we show more golf shots. I don't know. But simply getting the players back, I don't think is going to make this a good investment. I think there has to be, like what you guys are talking about, some sort of growth that has to happen.
Yeah, it would have been an easy PR win, if anything. At the smallest level, it would have been a nice, like, because obviously they're going to have programs that are now going to benefit off of this. PGA Tour has always been pretty good at that. They've been a nonprofit forever. I'm sure that they're going to have some sort of PR spin that, like, these charitable organizations that they donate to are going to be able to benefit off of this even more than they ever have. blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, like, if they had a strict plan for growing the game aside from just giving more money to Rory McIlroy publicly, like saying this is our plan. Like Saudis wanted to grow the game by just like showing cool graphics on the left side of the screen. We're going to do this, and we're going to like create tournaments for like younger kids. Like a whole package would have been really, really cool. Like an American sports growth plan to really show how are you going to get this to become a more accessible sport for youth and just even for everyone. I mean, it's really hard to play golf here in America right now. And then the other thing I was going to say is at the end of the day, what they have right now with the split, now that the PGA Tour is going to make money and Liv is making money, you have the interest right there. Just go all in on Liv versus PGA Tour. That's what's going to gain the most interest. If they bought into this like rivalry and all the guys were like, and both leagues were amicable, is that the word? Where they actually want to do like, they want to do tournaments together. They want to do a Ryder Cup format thing. You want to talk about eyeballs? Go all in on this. Like, you're not growing the game, like you said, by just bringing John Rahm back into a regular tournament that we're already going to watch or we may not already watch. Like, that's not going to get one more viewer than the other side. I think they should go all in on this like amazing rivalry. Look what happens within Barstool Sports, within any world. Whenever you have more drama, the eyeballs come to it, right? Like when one person writes a blog about someone at Barstool, it's in the New York Post. Like, it's fucking this Kelly Keegs versus Ohio State thing. Like, you have it. Like, bottle it up. Why not just keep doing that? The PGA Tour and Liv have the greatest product of all time right now. Imagine Rory McIlroy going against John Rahm on like primetime television. You're telling me that if you did that storyline, that's not more than just like John Rahm being paired up with Rory at Pebble Beach? Come on, buy in on this now. If everyone's going to make money off of it, make it into a good product. Turn it into a positive.
I mean, I don't know how far away we are from that. I hope, because I think it was Rob who posted on the Foreplay account, like the just matchup, the singles matchup of the Tour versus Liv and what it would look like. It's fucking Tiger, Phil, it's Rory and Rahm. It's like pretty fucking awesome. So yeah, if they lean into that, which I just feel like they won't, but God, hopefully they're closer than they will. I completely agree with you. Like rivalry, all that delivers.
But they have the investment now. Just do it. Just do it.
I think a lot of the reaction to this is starting to get like, okay, every 2 days we get another report about another rich guy becoming richer. And it's like, what is that doing for us? What the fuck is that doing for me as the fan, for anybody, for little fucking Timmy who's been playing golf for 5 years and he's 10 years old and he loves the game? None of these announcements are doing anything for those guys, for those girls, for anybody. It's like, how's the product getting better? How's the TV getting better? How's the production of it going to get better? How are we going to have more access like golf? Like, how are you doing that instead of just, here's $1 billion going to here, and now John Rahm signed for $300 million, Tyrrell Hatton, Adrian Meronk, they signed for $50 million. This guy, now the tour's getting $900 million. It's going to get split up, and you're like, okay, I'm just sick of reading shit about rich golfers getting more rich. That's great. Good for them.
Right.
It was definitely interesting at the beginning, and when there was drama, when they were fucking bickering back and forth, that was where the juice was. But now it's just like, all right, they just all keep signing deals where everybody's getting more and more money for them. They already were pretty rich. Sure, it's life-changing for them at their level, but the average fucking guy, girl, whoever, they don't give a fuck at this point. They're kind of just like, all right, dude.
Think about the negative feedback a player gets when he holds out of a contract and like he just wants more. The NFL player will just sit out for all year and be like, I want to get paid. And all the fans are like, you're fucking like leaving us in the dark. We're just regular paying fans and you want $60 million instead of 42. It's like really hard for the fan to be able to accept that when you're like, I just want to go to the game and watch you win games. That's like all I have. And then you're like trying to make the most money possible, which I get, but it comes off a little bit like bullshit. We have 2 leagues doing this. Like the leagues that we watch are doing this, where they're like, we're holding out. We're not like, we want more money. The whole entire league has this negative feedback. If you go into a regular bar in the middle of America, you think these fucking guys sitting there talking sports want to give a fuck if Rory McIlroy makes 85 million or 110? They don't give a fuck about it. They really don't.
No one's ever really watched sports because of how much money the players are making. It's always been something. Right. It's always been something that's on the side. And I was looking at the announcement after your point, Frankie, and the headline is, and this is not gonna endear. PGA Tour launches PGA Tour Enterprises new program that transforms players into equity holders. It's like, okay, cool. It should have made it like PGA Tour launches PGA Tour
Snooze
Enterprises
fest.
and launches new program to grow game of golf worldwide or something. You're right. It would have been a very, very easy PR win. Speaking of Rory, his comments I thought were very interesting because he said, like, let's welcome these players back, but there was a caveat. And the caveat was, and a couple of players have pointed this out to me, guys who have eligibility. So at this point, the only guys who still have PGA Tour eligibility are the ballers, right? The guys who have won a major, or like Phil Mickelson. Well, he's won a major, but like Dustin Johnson, who is a lifetime member. So he's basically saying, if you're one of these guys who you still have eligibility at this point, welcome them back. I wonder what would happen if the PGA Tour in this new PGA Tour Enterprises just dropped the ban. What if they said, like, live guys, you can come play in our tournaments if you have eligibility. You know, you won't get the benefits of being a tour member. You won't get equity stake in the league, this, that, or the other. But now they're in the business, like Frankie's. I mean, they are in the business of making money. That is what this private equity does. I can't see how saying, okay, you guys can come play in our tournaments, that's going to increase the product. It's going to make the product way better to have Rom and DJ coming back to playing in these things. And the live events still, most of them, except for this week, don't really coincide with like the biggest PGA Tour events necessarily. I think there is room there to create a system where those guys can come back and play if they have eligibility. So like the Brendan Steeles of the world, the Kevin Nas of the world won't have that opportunity because they don't have eligibility. They can go to Q school if they want. But like a guy like John Rahm, who has earned his exemption and is probably fucking good enough to win a major and keep getting more exemptions on the PGA Tour, those guys could still have eligibility.
You see that Alexis Ohanian guy quote tweeted your video, the founder of Reddit, Serena Williams' husband? Is he a part of this group that he just did like a smirk face?
He owns LAGC, which is the Los Angeles TGL indoor league team.
Why is he happy? He's not a part of this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
right?
a lot of the Fenway, the guys who are in the strategic sports group, most of them, or not most of them, but a lot of them own TGL teams.
Okay.
So like Arthur Blank owns the Atlanta Drive GC, which is the Billy Horschel, Justin Thomas team. John Henry, those guys own the Fenway Sports Group. They own the Boston team. So these guys, the guys who own this league, are basically like just way more in control, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is a pretty positive announcement if you're a TGL owner, where it's like a lot of money's going into the PGA Tour. The TGL is a PGA Tour backed like side little league thing. I guess that's huge for them. Yeah, that was cool.
No, that is cool. He's got Los Angeles Golf Club as his background picture on his Twitter.
There's also a connection here, which I probably should disclose. Alexis Ohanian is married to Serena Williams, and my sister runs Serena Williams's venture capital fund.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So there's that is a thing that is a thing.
That's good. That's good, honest journalism there.
Yeah,
you just got
I've thought about
facts.
Was that
Sorry?
legal? Did you have to do? Was that like legal jargon? Did you have to?
I don't know.
That
I don't know if it's legal. I mean, I didn't make a business
Legal
deal with him or
jargon.
anything, but there is like a connection there. I don't know.
Was that
I don't know
fine print? Did you just hit us with fine print?
I think that was like a little like asterisk and italics in the bottom.
Dude, that's like when like CNN will report something and they'll put at the end of it like CNN. This whole thing is owned by the CNN parent company.
Yes.
Like, put that. Yes. You're like, oh shit, okay. That's nice little connection there, Dan. Let's
Yeah.
Of all people, I think Nate Dogg put me in touch with Alexis 6 months or so ago, and I think he's a foreplay fan. He's a huge golfer. I think he listens to the show, and he was like teasing me with, he's like, I really want to talk to you about some potential deal. And now that I look at it, must have been TGL related, and then that kind of fell through because TGL fell through. But he kept kind of teasing, being like, give me another day, we're going to talk about it. We would kind of go back and forth. I haven't talked to him for months, but it had to be somewhere related to that because that ended up falling through, and he kind of didn't follow up on it. But I feel like he's around.
He's
us,
in the world
he's
for
kind
sure. He's definitely
he's
in the
circling
world
around us a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
I'm a big Reddit guy. I like Reddit.
Yeah, he's the founder, right? He's the
Wild.
He's
this
the guy.
This guy's legit, by the way.
Yeah, Alexis. Yeah, he's got 776 as his like venture capital company. Yeah, he's big time.
You go on Reddit a lot there, Frankie?
Yeah, I use it for like late night browsing.
Me too,
Great
man.
spot.
Me
yeah,
too.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
Community
ever
space.
done that. I
some
guess I need to be
recommendations.
on-
You know what I mean?
You hit the tabs. What's
Is
hot
that
in the
right?
streets? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
seeing what your brothers in arms are looking at.
I might have to try that. You just scroll. You just go to Reddit and scroll around.
Nah, you gotta know the areas.
You got to know
It's
the right ones.
There's some dark spots. There's some dark spots of that website. some people have some weird shit that they're into, whether it's for
The only thing-
comedy or late night browsing or whatever. But you could like, you could like watch someone get like murdered, or you could watch someone like bathe a dog. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a subreddit called
like,
Watch People Die, which is like
Yeah,
videos
exactly.
of people dying.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts,
That's
man.
fucked.
It's,
Yeah, I don't
it's
wanna- I
a
don't
weird
wanna go
spot.
there. Hey, have you ever been to the golf? I've been to the golf Reddit. The golf Reddit is hilarious. They just like guys just post, be like, I played on a Wednesday at that. Look
Yep.
at how cool this hole is, and they just played like a golf course, and they post a
And
photo.
then
of
someone
it. It's
will
a
try
weird-
and promote,
it's a
like
weird
they'll try and
place.
sell their clubs, and like they'll get like banned. They'll be like, this is not the place for that and shit like that.
Today's episode is brought to you by Whoop. Whoop is just incredible. It's the official wearable of the PGA Tour. You see Justin Thomas uses the little band that he kind of puts up on his arm. Rory McIlroy's been using it for years and years. We've been using it for years and years. And it truly just, it makes your peace of mind better. It makes you understand yourself better. We've got data for all kinds of stuff. Why would you not want the best data, the best fitness wearable in the world on your body? That's all you got. Your body's your temple, the whole deal. You only get one of them. You need to make sure you're understanding how you're sleeping, how your heart rate is. It's got blood, skin temperature. It's got all kinds of good stuff. So whether you're obsessed with performing better at the gym, shooting your lowest score this summer, whatever it might be, Whoop's going to help you get there.
Yeah, and also you start to wear it, and like you can't take it off. It just becomes a part of you because you wear it when you sleep, you wear it when you shower, you wear it every single time, every single second of the day. I mean, I had it on during my wedding. It's just like if it comes off of you, it feels weird. It just becomes a part of your body, and it tells you all the data that you need to know, and it becomes a part of your lifestyle and your daily routine. Trent Ryan lives and essentially dies by it because if it tells him he's 1%, he feels 1%. Like he's like that. It's attached himself to his brain. So
that was the text today. It wasn't like necessarily just like I'm feeling sick. It was my Whoop says I'm at 1%, so I just can't.
Right,
do it.
like his bodily functions is now just like relayed through Whoop. Hey guys, my Whoop says I'm at a 3%. I can't make the podcast today. So that's how much you trust it. Yeah, that's how much you trust it.
Worn by superstars like Patrick Mahomes, Rory McIlroy, Michael Phelps, Whoop helps you unlock your best self. Get started today with a 30-day free trial. Just head to join.whoop.com/Fore. Take your health to the next level. That is join.whoop.com/Fore.
Actually, on Reddit and all over Twitter, I saw did you guys see, speaking of ridiculously powerful and rich people, Elon Musk just put one of his Neuralinks into a human being.
It's the beginning of the end, Frank.
Recently. Yeah.
This is what Rogan's been like ranting about this for years, right? About how the Neuralink's coming.
Yeah, I mean, and Gay Pat at Barstool Sports blogged about it, and it was a great blog because I didn't see it until I read his blog, and he makes a good point where he's like, a lot of people are going to say this is the beginning of the end, but I just like don't care. Like, give me all of this stuff. Like, I think this is fucking phenomenal. He's putting Neuralink brain sensor AI chips into people's brains that can't use their limbs. So like Stephen Hawking had to use that technology where he would look through glasses, and the glasses had all these letters on them, and he would look through the letters onto the screen, and that's how he would type and communicate, which alone is an insane piece of technology. Like, I can't even wrap my brain around being able to use my eyeballs to be able to hit a certain letter on a screen, and then it tracks as I'm going through the letters what word I want to generate. Because Stephen Hawking was able to talk pretty damn quick through that fucking thing, right? Turns out Stephen Hawking was a psycho, real weirdo, by the way. Bad guy.
Yeah, some stuff's come out about him for sure.
Yes, not good. Not a Stephen Hawking fan. But now they're saying with this Neuralink, you just think it. So it's for communicating when you can't use your limbs, you have no vocal ability. They're putting these chips into these people that are not able to use their voices, and they're thinking, and then on the screen an AI will be like just saying what you're thinking. So it'll generate those thoughts, those letters, those words, those sentences while you just think them. Now, like, what's the future of that is my question. You know what I mean? If you could just think and then something does, that's scary.
Very. Also,
like, I want that car to blow up. Boom. It's just like, wow. Stop.
Anything that could just project what you're thinking is a problem. No one needs to know what you're actually thinking. There's a reason that we have a disconnect between saying things out loud and what we're thinking. We can't have that. That can't be projected. There can't be any way. It shouldn't be allowed that anyone could just have access to what you're thinking, because then you can't control that. You're stuck.
No,
you can't.
If I got a Neuralink in my head, I'd like go to jail. Like they'd be like,
yeah, we'd
I'd
all
have to
be
like,
in prison.
I'd have to introduce myself to someone and be like, listen, in the next 2 seconds, I'm going to say the word tits. I don't know why, whether you're a man or a female. I'm just going to say the word tits and ball sack and cock is just good. That's just always just in my head. Just, that there's no way the things that I'm thinking about. Come on, man.
That
no
would
way.
be.
Now, I just said 2 seconds ago, I like this stuff. And now we got to put an end to it.
It's too far.
That
it's gone
part
too
where
far.
it's genuinely good for like people and helping, right? Like, God, the even the vision stuff where like they cure, I know Mr. Beast like does that stuff where they like cure vision. All that stuff's great, but dude, you cannot have access to one's thoughts at all times, because everyone's just going to be in prison and people are going to
the thought is like,
hurt.
can these implants, like, because the brain is where everything happens. It's like how it fights off diseases and it lets you know when you're injured and all these things. Obviously that's where everything's happening. The rest of our body is just a shell. It's just everything's. Someone said if you're claustrophobic, like seriously, like there are people that are seriously claustrophobic that have a fear that their brain is trapped inside of their skull. Like they start to feel that.
That's a level. That's a level I did not know existed of claustrophobia.
Yeah, I know. I actually started to get a little fucking lightheaded right now. Like when you have that,
that's severe, because that ain't going away, man. That ain't going away. You're not.
When you have that sense of like it's in there and it's not getting out. Like my being is inside this skull and it's very tight and yeah, that's not good. But the ability to be able to cure like Alzheimer's or be able to let someone, if someone's part of their brain starts to be deficient, can this chip be an access point where it's like you could bypass that thing that's not working, right? Like these neurons that aren't firing, you have a fucking chip inside there that Elon Musk is pressing buttons on. Maybe that might help. So yeah, I thought that was crazy. I mean, it has no connection to Ohanian, but I just figured these two titans of LA, one and one went in hand. One guy's making LAGC, the other guy's making brain implants.
The Neuralink thing is an inevitable outcome to some degree. That's just what's going to happen, because right now, like we have it. We're just looking at our phone instead of just having that. Like everything that you could do on your phone is eventually just going to be instantly accessible by your brain. Why wouldn't
it's been getting easier. Like instead of flipping up the phone, then it became like a touch screen because that was quicker access. And then instead of a touch screen, it starts to then it was a thumbprint. And it's like, all right, because that's just easier access instead of putting in your password. Now it just scans your face. So it's like, and this is all within 10 years of this advancement. 100 years goes by. Oh my God, man. I mean, they're already talking about these Google glasses that they tried to make where you were like walking down the street and you would be able to see. It's augmented reality of like everything you're seeing. A text message would pop up on the street and you can kind of swipe at it and move it away and you could be watching a video. And they're trying to fight that because it's like, where does that end then? Like, you could just be like filming someone on these glasses, or you could be looking at something and like you could be analyzing things while you're having a conversation. It's just like face to face and real world interactions are over. If you take that a step further, it's in your brain, over. I mean, you already can't have conversations with like little children at like a dinner table. Imagine that generation has fucking implants in their brains. They're going to be playing games and doing shit. They'll just be staring forward. Everyone's going to turn into a vegetable. Just like thinking, just like staring at the street.
Yes, that's coming. And the real issue becomes like, dude, pretty much every society that's ever existed runs into a major issue because you just get incredibly bad, ambitious, control, like dictator freaks. And now if you have this kind of technology, you can just control everyone. And eventually that'll just get in the hands where the people that are in control will have the technology where you just can't get away from it. They own you. They own everything that you do.
Eddie had that psychopath on Dog Walk in Barstool, Chicago, that extinctionist. Where that Joe Rogan talked about that these extinctionists in San Francisco.
Yeah. Better like, no humans than 8 billion.
They want the planet to be extinct because that is better for the planet. That's like what the planet's here for. Humans ruin it.
Yeah. That's
that
a
guy
level.
If a guy like that gets in control of Neuralink or anything, goodbye. Adios.
It's a good run. It's been a good run.
Dude, you get a guy like that, I mean, there are people like that are in control of other countries that legitimately, like, that if they get this technology, which they will eventually, it's going to be fucking bad, man. Really, really, really bad. Like, it's already pretty bad. We all know it. You start fucking talking with your friends about a cigar, and then for the next fucking week straight, all you get's like cigar ads or something on fucking Instagram, and all of a sudden you get accounts. It's like they're already pretty much controlling your mind and reading your mind and reacting to it without us even having a Neuralink, just carrying this fucking thing around all the time. They know fucking everything, and they're able to utilize it. So it's only going to get worse. I'm kind of with your original point, Frankie. Just whatever at this point. Like, whatever. What am I going to do to stop it? What could I possibly do? Nothing. Literally nothing. Talk about it on this podcast where people are like, how come we're not talking about golf anymore? How come we're talking about fucking phones and Neuralinks and dictators? How did that happen?
Welcome to Foreplay.
Well, it's just like, yeah, the PGA Tour news is great. It's another fucking wild step in this 3-year shit show. I mean, almost 4 years. How long has this been going on?
It's great. This is Liv's third season, which kind of like made me like go like that's significant.
So this fight's been going on for 4 years.
Yeah,
right? Because there was like a year of like talking behind closed doors if Liv was going to be a thing.
I remember that first meeting with the Saudis and all the agents was at Riviera in 2020. So yeah, almost exactly 4 years ago, in that giant mansion above like the 12 hole. I remember it was like crazy. It was like, oh my god, all these guys are going to meet the Saudis this afternoon. Are they going to come back without their heads? Like, it was crazy.
How about like COVID in like March 2020 when COVID really got real and everything shut down? That was 4 years ago, dude.
Yeah, shit's going by fast.
That's an entire stint in college ago.
Yeah,
how is that fucking?
And we talked about it last show, but like people lost their like last years in college, and like it was a time that like we all got like every single person, it feels like, got Men in Black wiped out. Like our brains legitimately stopped working for 3 years. There were just so many things that 2020 2021 feels like it's all bottled into like 1 month because you're just sitting at home for 2 years. So like there was nothing to remember. I remember finally like going out. I was doing deliveries with my dad to hospitals because we were getting donations from the local community. They would give like $1,000, and then my dad would then make food because he didn't want to just take it. He would make the food and then go bring it. It was as if someone ordered dinner. So he would take that money and we would go bring it to hospitals. I remember that being the coolest thing. I was able to go outside. I felt like Spider-Man, like dodging fucking germ bullets. And I would like I would like triple masked up, and I made my dad wear like my dad was wearing like a ski mask. It's just like, but yeah, that's all I remember for 2 years. 2 years of my life. I don't remember anything else.
It is almost like the clock stopped for 2 years, and then like we got to restart it. You know, it's like those.
That's how we got into the video game. PGA Tour 2K23 or 21. I just played it for like 1,000 straight hours, and I made a golf course called Butters Bay, and then like it got so big that we had 80,000 people playing in our Barstool Golf Society in the year 2021. There was 80,000 people playing in each event. It got so big. Video games was like, you couldn't believe how big video games were in the year 2021. It was outrageous. No one could play real golf. Real golf was gone.
So was the pandemic a net positive for the foreplay universe?
It was a net positive for foreplay and golf and everyone. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was huge for golf because that was like one of the few things. I mean, it wasn't everywhere, but that was one of the few things in a lot of places that people could actually do was play golf. Yeah, because you're outside. It's 4 people over the course of a fucking massive golf hole. So you had to do the whole pool noodle thing and all that, but people could play golf. Everybody's working from home. And next thing you know, people that couldn't typically play golf Monday through Friday are like, guess what, dude? I'm going to fucking get done with work a little bit early. I'm going to go play at 2 or 3 in the afternoon with some buddies. It's allowed. And people got into golf. That's what we kept saying, whatever it was last month. We were like, golf is up. What does that mean? Well, participation. Everybody's just more into golf. We do a golf brand. So COVID, bad thing. A lot of people died. But if you had to boil it down to like exactly how it affected the Foreplay golf brand, net positive for us for sure.
That's funny. The pool noodle for me is like the logo of dumb COVID things. Like when I think of Live Golf, I think of Phil Mickelson. When I think of dumb COVID things, I think of the pool noodle and us thinking we'd figured it out. That was going to be the way. That was going to be the way to just, now it's COVID free. We figured this out.
Bro, I think I shot like a 67 my first pool noodle round because I was just
it off the flag,
pounding long birdie putts as hard as I could with no break. And just there was one day that I remember, I think we played 9 holes and I legit went out there and shot like a 34. And I was just hitting greens and I was blasting these putts. And I remember my friends like crying, laughing at like, this guy is a problem if this becomes the new version of golf.
Did you guys not have a hole with the pool noodle? Like your pool noodle was on the outside of it?
No, it
was
like
on the
came
top
almost
of the hole.
to the top. So it just stopped all momentum. It was just like boom.
Ours was a pool noodle that You literally, it was the size of the cup.
Like
And you
half
just
the
had to-
ball was above the hole still.
Right. So you could literally just jam this ball at the pool noodle. And if it grazed it on the side, we counted it. Like if it grazed the pool noodle.
Okay.
So I was drilling 100-mile-an-hour putters at this fucking thing, and it would like bank off of it and go off the green. And I'm like, birdie. Because that was literally the rule. Those were the rules.
Birdie.
Those were the rules. It didn't have to sit in the hole or anything. Because the pool was the noodle wouldn't let the ball go in. So you couldn't argue one way or another. It's like, what's the difference of it hitting it and going 10 feet or hitting it and going 2 inches?
So the one they had down in Pinehurst was a pool noodle, but it was like Dan was saying, it was like about the height of a golf ball below the cup level. So a ball could go into the hole, and but if you hit it too hard, you could get an argument with people of like that putt would have gone in if it weren't pool noodle golf. It would have, but like it'd be like it didn't, and then you could get into that argument.
No, New York pool noodles were out of the cup. It was bumper car.
Yeah. It was basically like tag. You just had to touch the hole and you were good to go.
And I would do it, and there would be some arguments where like I'd be like, I thought I heard it. Like it would nick it. It would just be like you'd hear it go like, no, that's a bird.
Yeah, that's good. From the Gallery is brought to you by our great, and I mean great friends at TaylorMade Golf, the new QI10 Max that I've been rocking in this segment. We get into our golf games a little bit. We start talking about my golf game, which is much better. This is going to be my year. I was texting people about it. The QI10 Max is an enormous part of that. You can experience your drives in 10K with the all-new QI10 Max driver from TaylorMade. It is the most forgiving driver TaylorMade has ever made with 10K MOI for maximum stability. Look, every major tour over the last couple of weeks has had a winner, and that winner has been using the TaylorMade QI10. We've had Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, we had Nelly Korda, we got all of them. Dunlap, first amateur since 1991 to win on the PGA Tour. QI10 from TaylorMade. So this thing is insanely good. It's forgiving. It's so fun to hit. Makes golf a lot better. We love this thing, fellas.
It's incredible. It really is. Winners are using it. Losers are using it. Everybody's using it. Really, that's a fact, right? Like it's for the people that play the best golf and also the forgiveness of it. They also like the worst golfers use it because it helps them. So if you can make a product that goes to everyone, it's like Nate Bargatze being able to be a comedian for everyone because he's clean. He can say a joke to a 7-year-old. He can say a joke to an 85-year-old. The QI10 can be for anybody. It can be for Trent Ryan. It can be for Sky Scheffler.
I saw that all three models have won across different tours. So
Nelly.
I mean the Max, like Nelly, she's using the Max. Is that right?
Yeah,
I believe so.
and Colin Morikawa is using the Max too. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm too good for the Max, you're not. You're just not.
Yeah, you could shop the QI10 Max, the QI10, and the QI10 LS drivers. Plus, schedule yourself a custom fitting. It's worth it. It changes everything. We watch with Trotty. You go to TaylorMadeGolf.com. Shop these drivers. They're amazing. Book yourself a custom fitting. But we see it with Trotty, with Adrian when we go down and they just change a shaft or a club head or the loft angle on a club a couple degrees. You make the same swing you've been making, and all of a sudden the ball flight is that much better. So schedule yourself a custom fitting. Go check out these drivers at TaylorMadeGolf.com. Let's do a couple from the galleries. We haven't done these in a while. We're going to crank through a few of these. We got Brian from New Jersey. Reminder, email us. Every time I do prompt people, we all of a sudden get a ton of them. So email us, foreplay@barstoolsports.com. Just put the subject, that bad boy from the gallery, whatever you got in there, questions, concerns, stories, make them quick. Otherwise, we won't read them. But if they are quick and they're good, we'll talk about them on the show at some point. We got Brian from New Jersey. He says, my question is, has Frankie back in the Spider gang? It looks like he gave up perhaps on the blade putter. Did we get an explanation on the podcast on where his putter game?
The reserve was in there for a while.
Oh yeah, you were rocking the reserve.
The reserve was in there for a while. I had to switch up something because my putting was so bad. My ball striking got to a point where I had never hit the ball better than I did like middle of last year, and I was making horrific scores, and it was just getting really, really frustrating because everything was happening on the green. I was 3-putting everything. There was one round where I think I had like 42 putts like here on Long Island at Colonial, and I was just like, that's unacceptable. Like, just so unacceptable. How is that even a real number? Like 3-putting every single hole. So I switched back to I switched to the reserve. I felt like that initial change, whenever you make an initial change, I feel like it makes your like the way that you're swinging or the way that you're putting, like you like kind of just change it based off of what's in your hand. So I was actually coming through the ball. I wasn't decelling, and like I started to putt better. And I think it's just like a placebo effect where it's like you just have a better path, you have a better stroke. It's not the thing that's in your hand. And then the reserve,
Tiger Woods does that, dude. Remember he had like when he almost won
the
in
Ardmore,
2018.
I used the Ardmore 2 years ago.
TaylorMade Ardmore for he like when he almost won at Carnoustie. It's crazy to go look at that. And then at the PGA at Bellerive, he was rocking that black thing. And he afterwards, like, you know, he went back to the Scotty, won the Masters using the Scotty, and he was just like, yeah, sometimes you just got to put it in timeout a little bit, put it on the bench.
You got to always be tweaking the putting. I'm going with the claw right now. I've been clawing it for the past like 3 weeks. It's just you just got to change it up. There's a honeymoon period, I think, with a putting change where you're like, oh my god, I've got, because you can't really do it with your swing. You can't really be like, oh, I've got a totally new move. But with putting, you could be like, oh, I'm putting my weight more on my left foot, and you're completely transformed.
Over this last weekend, I texted Kyle Timms because I think nobody roots for my golf game more than Kyle Timms, who edits everything. And I texted him and I was like, this is my year. I got a fucking tip from a guy on Instagram, which a lot of people are mean, obviously, on Instagram and social. But this guy sent a very sincere one time. I just like posted one of my swings on my Instagram story or whatever. And he responded to it and was like, Riggs, I really like the direction. I had the exact same swing you had 3 or 4 years ago. Here's what I worked on. It's a simple little thing that if you really work on it, he's like, I went from a 10 down to like a 2, and it was just because of this. And it was legitimately just instantly, basically hinging my hands instantly at my takeaway and feeling like I'm just sending the butt into the club straight down immediately when I pull the club back. I am flushing the ball for me better than I've ever hit it in my life.
Don't you have access to like world-class teachers and you're taking tips from some random Instagram commenter?
Yep. Well, I mean, you take anything, right? When you're hitting it, like I was hitting it last fall, especially, you're like, dude, I'll take anything. And like this time of year, when we're not traveling as much, I have plenty of opportunity to go up to the driving range in the afternoon. So it's like, so you go up there and you're like, I got a couple hours up here with nothing to do and 70 degrees and sunny. I'll fucking look at that Instagram. You got something for me there on Instagram? Take it.
I'm rooting for this to work. I am. I really am rooting for this to work. But this is a tale as old as time with Riggs.
There's a but.
There is every winter when we're not playing as a group, he figures something out. And it's some sort of tip. I remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it was like, feel like you're sitting in a chair. And then once when he does it, and he hits great and he's on the range and he's playing great at home. And then we do our first trip, and like that tip doesn't work on the first or second hole. And then you're a house of horrors because you're trying to get back to it. You're like, I don't know. This hinge thing is a nightmare, dude. I'm telling you, the day that it doesn't work is like, there's gonna be people on the cameras.
This thing in person, man. You're gonna love it. Just flush.
No, I think you need to just keep doing the same swing. I'm telling you, I will know when it goes awry, and it's not going to come back for a long time.
Shout out to the chair sit tip, because that actually delivered a full good summer. We went to Forest Dunes, and we had that probably the best match we've ever had at Forest Dunes. Remember that on that 18th hole where like Lurch made that putt and like Trent was playing? That was probably the best I've ever played that summer. Yeah. But then I did lose it. Sometimes I go back to the chair sit tip occasionally, and boy, if you're not confident with that one, it's a house of horrors. Your body's moving around.
There's still a guy who comments on like, I would say probably 75% of the videos that I make just Lurch in all caps, and I just want to shout out that guy. We're almost 2 years in. I love the persistence.
He's just still going.
It's hilarious.
He's still going. This one guy.
That's the most that will. Just that guy commenting Lurch is the most that we've heard about Lurch in 2 years. Like in our end, I haven't nothing.
Francis is like stepped in. You know, Francis.
Yeah, I mean, if you just stop answering and you stop like trying to be a part of it, that's just what's gonna happen. It's like it's frustrating at this point, but it is what it is. We're gonna see him at the Dad Bod, so that'll be that's gonna be great. I haven't seen him in forever.
We will see him at in Pebble, and God, that's coming up in like a month. We're gonna be doing the old Dad Bod Classic. That's our version of like all these reports that come out about all the guys making millions of dollars. The Dad Bod Classic is our version of that, where we just talk about this insane trip that nobody should ever be able to go on. No, that we just get to go on. So maybe we'll be a little bit lighter this year, but I'm telling you, the hinge thing, wait till you see the hinge. Is great. The hinge is nice.
And I am using the Spider now, the Spider Tour X. I'm back on that.
The gray one?
Team TaylorMade even told me, I mean, even Team TaylorMade told me like the reserve is like, this is the Spider's the thing. You know what I mean? Like the Spider is what you need. They knew that I wasn't, because it's just a less forgiving putter, that reserve. You know what I mean? Like, it felt good for the first week, But then like once my bad habits come back, it's exponentially worse than what it was with the spider. So I'm
It's
back
like
on
So
that.
blades. I
I
feel
also
like great
haven't
putters
hit a
are.
golf ball. I haven't hit a golf ball since the good stuff. Which
How are
was
you
in
feeling
December.
about next
Wild.
week? We got the
That's
we got the
wild.
Desert Open next week.
I have no idea. So we're playing in this good live event, which is on like Peacock, and me and Trent are a twosome. Trent probably hasn't hit a ball in 6 months. I have not swung a golf club. I don't even know what it
6
feels like
months.
to hit a golf ball. In I
9
don't know,
holes
what
in
has
the
that
Dominican
been?
Republic for
It's-
big TR.
Yeah, no, I guess for me it's like
That's true.
6 weeks. Probably
You're not going to
6 weeks.
practice.
That's a
You're not going to hit the
Well,
range
how am I gonna
in
have-
indoor.
No. I got to just trust my abilities to be able to just like pick it back up, because if I go to an indoor place, that's what fucks me up. Like hitting off the mats into a screen. Fuck that. No way.
Yeah,
My
you don't
first,
like that. You never translate that well. You
I
hate
need
that.
to just be able to just like get to a driving range and be like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. Like,
Are
yeah,
you going to
my
go?
game's
When
not
are
going to
you
be
getting
tight,
to?
but
When are you getting to
Monday.
Scottsdale? You're going to have time to work to go to the range. I guess you'll get
Probably
there like
not.
a couple hours before the tournament and just figure it out on the
there's a little
range.
something on Tuesday that I might go and just like chip around, but Monday, I don't think we're going to have a chance unless, I don't know. I just need like one ball to go in the air off the driver to be like, I can do it again. The thing I'm nervous about is like the pace of my putts and my chips and all that. But I feel pretty confident in the iron game. I think that's like,
Well, that's good because it's like an executive course. I think you're only going to hit driver like 2 or 3 times. It's like
oh, that's right. It's like a
No,
short
yeah,
course,
it's
right?
no, it's all par 3 because it's at night, and at night I
Oh,
believe
really?
it's just
All of them
are par
threes. Mm-hmm.
And is it going to be off mats or is it going to be off of grass?
we
I
just
think
got
they
a
have
full swing
both.
release date.
I think they have both as an option, Frankie. I want to say, but I know it's mats, and you might have the choice to hit off grass if you want to. I think you do.
That is fantastic news. Because I can,
Yeah.
I know irons are hard to hit, but I feel like I've gotten pretty good at hitting like a 9 iron, 8 iron pitching wedge, like especially if it's off a mat. Oh my God, we are golden. None of those little
we're gonna
like
be-
coming down steep shots. Come on.
The one thing we got to worry about is we're all hitting the shot of glory. So on Wednesday, we are going to be on the 16th hole at the Phoenix Open with somewhere between like a 7 iron and a 9 iron or something in your hand, hitting in front of tens of thousands of people are going to be there on Wednesday.
That one's gonna be tough because that'll be the first time I'm hitting a real golf ball. That one's gonna be tough. I could actually blade one into the stands, which would be great too. Like
It would be
I
great.
always-
Someone's
regardless of if I'm at the top of my game or not, I've always fumbled the big shots, except for Tiger Woods. I finally stepped up in front of Tiger
true.
Woods.
You did. You
But
absolutely
I'm
piped.
0 for, and this is more like, like this is like the PGA Tour announcing that they're fixing the game of golf for giving people more money. I've played Pebble Beach like 5 times thanks to Josh Isner for the Dad Bod Classic, and I'm 0 for 5 on the 7th hole, my favorite hole in the world. 0 for 5. Never hit the green.
Brendan Jones made
Never
par.
hit the green. I've never hit the green. I took my dad there, never hit the green. Me and Trent played there last year during the Dad Bod Classic, and then we looped it twice. We went back and played at night, and we played 36 holes, and I missed it both times. And Lurch wanted me to just drop a bunch of balls on the tee box and hit until I hit the green to let the demon out, and I refused. I said, I will not. It is such an honor to play this golf course. It's my favorite golf course in the world. I will not make it some
Just
sort
turn
of
it into
fucking
a driving range session.
turn it into a driving range session. You have to earn each. You have to earn each attempt on that green. I'm lucky enough to be able to play it. It was my dream to play it once. If I'm playing it 6 times, then I'm not taking advantage of that moment ever. So this year, I will say it again. I'm gonna hit that green. I think the day I hit the green, I'm
It's
gonna
like
make
a 90-yard shot. That's the worst part. Is it's a legit like 90-yard shot or
and
so.
I think that's my best shot right now. Like a
that little
knockdown,
54
like
degree. Is that what you hit?
54 degree, 90-degree shot where I don't make it higher than my shoulder and I just come through and I clip it perfect and it hits the green and stops. Why can't I do that at Pebble Beach? Why? I like decel. Bro, last year in front of Todd Martin, when I decelled and I hit it and I popped, I double hit it. I went, and I just looked around. I'm like, you can't make that up. I rimmed out for eagle on 6 and made a par on 8, and I made a 7 on 7.
That's insane. It was such a nice day too. It was like perfect weather, barely any wind. Oh, that is your shot. Folks, you love golf. We love golf. Make sure you access your My Gin Rewind presented by Sentry in the USGA Gin app. Handicap, you just need it. Barstool Classic, you need it. we get handicap police here. There's no guesswork, man. You go out, you play, you post your score, whatever that score might be. It could be 120, it could be 88, it could be 71, whatever it might be. Just go post those scores. The fantastic USGA Gin app does the rest, and you can go in there and you can, again, access that My Gen Rewind presented by Century. You can share it all over social. It shows you what your year looked like, how many rounds you played, what your handicap started at, where it's at, what it went through, all of that fun stuff. It is the rewind. You're going to enjoy it. And you're just going to want to know, how was my performance last year in 2023? Should I be better? Should I be worse? You had good stretches, bad stretches. How many rounds did you actually play? Maybe you thought you were playing a ton. You didn't play that much. Maybe it's the other way around, whatever it might be. The USGA Gin app, which we love. Go access it right now.
That's the beautiful thing about golf and handicaps is it's just a number. It's data. It's right there. You stand on the first tee and everyone tries to negotiate handicap strokes. It's not a negotiation. The USGA handles the entire thing for you.
We did have a funny on Saturday morning. That was exactly, somebody's like, all right, what game we're going to play? And two different guys go, I'm like a 4. The guy goes, what do you mean you're like a? That's not.
Yeah, it's like
you just have a number. I know there's just a number. What is that number? And obviously the USGA Gin app, it's just the best. You need to have it. And once you do, you realize they've put a lot into this app. I'm on the My Gen Rewind right now, presented by Century. You're looking at how it started, how it finished, your lowest handicap, your scores posted, how many different courses you played, your best score, your average score, all that fun stuff. So you can share it. Sign up for a handicap index at usga.org/get-a-handicap. Again, that's usga.org/get-a-handicap. Make sure you get this app, get yourself a handicap, and go access and share the My Gen Rewind presented by Century. I think this year is going to be your year. We got some news there. Danny Scoops.
Full swing, March 6th, season 2. And the player list came out. Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, Tom Kim, Joel Damon, Matt Fitzpatrick, Alex Fitzpatrick, Wyndham Clark, Keegan Bradley, Justin Rose. So no Brooksy on that list.
Wow. A lot of Dan Rappaport in this one, I heard.
We'll see. You never know until it actually happens.
Oh, okay. All right. Anybody have anything else?
I've got a little bit of a tease. I didn't know when I was going to do it. I know next week's a big week, but we have to start revving this thing up. I've been working on this with Live Event Lisa and Justin and my buddy Big Rob. We did an event. This is a pickleball announcement. All right. So I know we have a lot of pickleball fans. Hopefully the people who have been listening this long, that they now are present for this announcement. It's just a little bit of a tease. I'm not going to give away too much. Essentially, and I'm very excited about this, we've got a 6-event pickleball tour locked in for Barstool Pickleball. The Barstool Pickleball Open will be hitting the road. We're going to multiple different cities across the country. We've got all the venues locked in. We've got all the signage getting ordered. We've got Big Rob working with some sort of insane software that's going to be sending text messages to every single person that plays, and you're on this court and this was your score and you're facing this team and that's that team name. Go meet them now. Have a conversation about how that game's going to go, and then you play. It's going to be unbelievably advanced. It's going to be an amazing time. There's going to be music. There's going to be all this stuff. It's going to be our version of pickleball events. We are going to crown champions. It's just year one, and we're hoping to make this into the next Barstool Classic type thing where we have 20 events a year. 6 events, with the first one coming in March. And I talked about that golf event that's going to be happening at a little golf tournament in Jacksonville. Well, maybe we might be doing a golf event and pickleball event back-to-back days on the same property, as where players play golf in Jacksonville. As where golf players play golf in Jacksonville. That might be the first kickoff event. Who knows? I will say this. When you're listening to this, I teased a logo. The logo for this thing is out of control. Like our Barstool Pickleball new logo with the merch is going to be so fucking sick. It's going to knock your sock. Have you guys seen this thing? Have I showed you guys this thing yet?
I don't think I have.
Let's see it.
I've only seen the one on your head right there.
Look at this guy.
Oh,
wow.
Yes.
How good is that?
That's incredible.
It just makes you feel something.
The smile really lights up my world.
Oh, it's like a happy little guy. I mean, just bouncing around. Are you still playing a lot, Frankie?
It's just, I'm playing. I'm playing as much as I can. It's a great sport. It's an absolutely great sport. And what we're going to do with merchandise is we're going to create like athletic wear, because I feel like everything that we make, like we make polos for golf. People can wear them on the golf course. All of our shirts, it feels like and people, they sell like crazy. We sell hoodies, which we sell comfort color shirts, which you can wear out to the bar, you can wear out to wherever. But I do want to make a line of like, wear this when you play pickleball. It's like moisture wicking, all that stuff. So all that stuff's coming, guys. That is, we're revving up the pickleball stuff. I hope that's exciting to some people. If you have any plans to play any Barstool pickleball events, just keep your eyes and ears peeled, like we've been saying. And it's going to come within the next week, I would say, is a big announcement. So just keep your attention up for that, because that's going to happen.
Well done, Frank. I want to say well done. I know it was a lot of
Thank
work
you.
on your end.
Very well done.
Bringing this
Very
idea
well
to
done.
life. There's a lot of logistics involved. So congratulations to you.
Appreciate that.
And I feel like pickleball is getting only bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Man. It's fucking everywhere, pickleball.
These events are going to be huge. I think like celebrities are going to want to play in them. Athletes are going to want to play in them. If there's only 6 this year and we're going to pretty major cities, I think we're going to be able to book some pretty cool people that go to each one. So, yeah, you can just tell, like, when you mention like, oh, you want to play in this golf event, it's always like a long day for them, and it's like a little bit harder. You have to be good at the sport. Like, pickleball is so accessible for so many people, and you're seeing all these like celebrities and athletes wanting to get in on it. Like, no matter who you are, you're playing pickleball if you're an athlete. So it's just exploding right now. The accessibility is out of control. You can play with your dad, you can play with a younger kid. The ages mean nothing, and you can play pretty fucking competitively too. So I think we're going to get some crazy good athletes that play in these. The guys who played the Long Island one, Dean,
insane.
I mean, he finished second. That guy Dean, Coach Dean, is out of control up there in Port Washington at Sport Time. He's like coaching now. I think he's like a full-time like pickleball guy now. Ever since that event, he's literally full-time pickleball.
So for the tournament, there's no handicapping involved. It's just straight.
There's going to be like 3.5. So there's a thing called a duper rating, which is like you're supposed to input it, which they actually just updated.
They have it in
algorithm,
tennis, right? They have a similar thing in tennis.
Yeah. So you essentially like you'll play a match against you. We both have a duper, DUPR, and we put in our scores, how many matches we played, what the scores were of each game, and then it'll give us a rating. And like 5.0 and plus is 5.0 is the elite. That's the highest. That's like being scratch. And then 4.5 is really good. 4.0 is like you play a lot, but you're not able to like beat those 5.0 guys. And then 3.5 is usually beginners. Like they'll give every single person a 3.5, I feel like, or 3.0 when they first start. So we're going to have a bunch of different divisions. We're going to have mixed doubles, and we're going to have an all-female doubles as well. So we're going to need all the women to show up as well. We're trying to make this for everybody, and that's what pickleball is. It's for everybody. Older. We had a 72-year-old lady. Remember that in the mixed doubles division at the Long Island event?
Mm-hmm.
She went to the finals of the 3.5 mixed doubles division. It was incredible. She was like 75 years old. She was killing it.
Dude,
she played all day.
The skill level in the championship game was as high a level as I think you could possibly play that game. I mean, it was laughable how good those guys were that were playing for the championship. So yeah, it's awesome work by you guys, by our team. I'm excited to see a bunch of the stops. I'm very excited for the March situation with quite a few players that are going to be out there playing. So yeah, I like the new logo. It's fire. All right, Dan, you got anything else? You got any scoop? Anything else to report?
It's never enough for you boys. Never enough, man. Come through and just more.
No, you came through.
Yeah, I think
that's
been
kudos
great.
to Dan.
You've been coming through big
good.
time. Yeah.
I don't know why you needed us to like push you to like get a scoop, but like you got a scoop. You got a scoop. You should be the scoop guy. I said I want to come up with a logo like Dan's like the ice cream maker. Like you're the scoop guy.
Yeah, just a little. Tiger Caddy's next. I'm really working on that one. So hopefully we get that. Hopefully we get that.
That would be fucking huge. Come on.
I've got some texts out there. We'll see if they respond.
All right, everybody have themselves a delightful weekend. Thank you for listening per usual. Thanks for signing up for the Barstool Classic. Stay tuned for pickleball news coming next week, and hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.